All right. Welcome to the very first episode of the Zero Weakness podcast. It's your boy Kung Fu Henny, the boss man, El Jefe, Don Dada.
Well, to clarify, it's not the first episode. We're a highly established leading podcast sponsored by Establishment Coffee Co. Use the code 025 to get 25% off and free shipping. But this is a new format. We're changing direction. Are you excited?
I'm pumped. Before you keep going, I just want to let everyone know it's not going to look this shit.
This is the dry run. This is basically, we were too excited to wait until the whole studio was set up to showcase or play with our new podcast equipment. We just had to have a play. So that's this.
Like, so if it looks weird because I'm not looking at the camera, like, this is my first time doing this. So,
but that's the essence of the podcast, though. In the future, we're not looking at the camera anyway. We're talking to each other. Oh, that's
right. It's a conversation.
Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me.
All right, we good.
Eyes are here.
My bad.
However, CJ is behind the camera, and we are very grateful for CJ because he's helped us make this happen.
How good. Shout out CJ.
That's his barbershop behind us, by the way.
Don't get a haircut from him.
What?
No, he's good. He's good.
Wow. The banter. We haven't even started properly yet. Jeez. All right. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what we're doing. So we're changing direction a little bit with this podcast, with this platform specifically. This year, that's basically what we wanted to use this episode for. It's still going to be one of our short and sweet ones. So historically, this podcast has been short, sweet tidbits of information from me. Mainly, James has been on it a few times. I've had one or two guests, but it's mainly just been lifting information. That essence is not going to change. There's still going to be lifting information. You can still ask us questions. We're still happy to talk about that. But as Zero has changed and grown over the years and it's really exploded in the last 6 months and continue to grow massively, we have a really, really cool team and culture to showcase. And basically, this is an outlet for us then to be able to share what we know, but also showcase the kind of people that we are, to meet that or make that blend between knowledge and just being real people to connect with. I'm really excited about it. You're excited about it?
I'm just pumped to get the ball rolling for 2022. Tom, bro, El Jefe Don Dada, he's got a vision. I'm on board with it. More content, more shit talk, more banter. And this is going to be a really good platform for us to, get that stuff off our chest. We've already come up with some cool segments that we're going to do. One of them is going to be one that I feel like I'm going to get heavily targeted in. Tombo is going to air out his grievances every week with something within Zero. So I feel like your boy's going to make a few appearances in that. But look, I'm not mad. I feel like I'm a Zero veteran. I've been here. I'm Thomas's longest serving employee. I don't know if that's a good thing. I just wear that like a badge of honor.
So... Well, I would like to think that the direction of the podcast specifically, maybe not Zero completely, but especially the content style. I mean, you and I have both been touched by Melbourne strength culture. Like what those guys are doing. I mentioned it on the end of year episode. I'm really loving the change of direction from being like, here's what we know to here's who we are, and keeping what we know in there, but really more showcasing who they are. I think staying true to self is something that's really missing in the industry. I think we'll probably stay a little bit more towards what we know as well, just because that's what I've always done in Zero, and my personal brand is really heavily based around mentoring. So I'll probably keep small episodes with information separate to our chats as well, just to continue to serve the market who are really interested in that. But in saying that sort of inspiration from Melbourne strength culture, I must say that last bit of you talking was a really terrible Jamie Buzz impression.
I love Jamie Buzz.
He's the man. But
Jamie Buzziotis.
Like you needed.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, turn the accent down. You're not Greek.
Accent?
Yeah.
This guy's, I've had enough of him already. Nah, but in all seriousness, those boys, I love what they do as well. Jamie Smith, Jamie Buzziotis, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Didier Vasu and Charlie. What they're doing is awesome, and I'm pumped to for us to do a little bit more of that, go in that direction. But Tom, bro, I got a couple of questions for you. If you want to tell everyone what Zero's been doing, where we're heading in 22, what moves you've made, etc., etc.?
Yeah, for sure. So we're about to open Zero number 4, which is Brisbane. So we've got Zero on the south side of Brisbane. It's about 12 minutes outside of the city. This one's a little bit north of the city. If you're local to Brisbane, and it's in a suburb called Windsor. So that's cool. We've got a couple of new staff members coming on board with that. I'm not going to announce their names just yet, but they'll be present in the Zero world a little bit more, which is super, super exciting. That gym the space is 500 square meters. If you've ever been to Southside and you're listening to this, it's about double the size gym floor wise as that gym. So it's a really big space. It's sort of underground, so it's got a cool vibe to it. You walk down these stairs and then you're in the gym. I've posted a couple of photos, but very vague until we do the building works and set it up. So that's happening. We've just got a bunch of new equipment here at Ground Zero and at Southside as well. We're making some big moves up in North Queensland at Mackay. I can't say too much about that just yet until it's actually all confirmed, but if it all goes ahead, our plans, that's going to be nothing like powerlifting in Australia has ever seen, or strength gyms have ever seen in Australia. I mean, already Zero is very quickly becoming a leader in that sense, and that's sort of my vision is commercializing strength training.
That's sick.
Yeah, powerlifting's really... and I hope we can unpack this a little bit more in the longer format episodes, but powerlifting, it's not so much an afterthought of Zero, but it's an already captured market. And to continue to grow the sport of powerlifting, you have to attract people that aren't in powerlifting. To do that, they need a place where they can get the information, where they can feel what powerlifting is. That's what I'm trying to achieve with the gyms, is commercializing strength training, that blend between what powerlifting gyms have historically been, which is unique, offering specialist equipment and knowledge, but typically they've always been small, grungy, missing a lot of pieces of equipment, missing some of the commercial aspect that make commercial gyms work. I'm trying to blend the two together.
Yeah, I think you're doing a really good job of that. Like the culture that we've got here at our Ground Zero especially, like you've done a really good job to, what's the word? Encapsulate? Did I make that word up?
Nah, encapsulate's a word. It doesn't really work there, but we'll use it.
We'll use it. But, we're doing a really good job of that here. Our community is really growing. One thing I just want to touch on as well, when people think Ground Zero, people want to come train here. They think, oh, no, I'm not strong enough to train at a powerlifting gym. That's the whole point. You come to a powerlifting gym. If your goal is to get stronger, get better at training, you come to a powerlifting gym.
Yeah, I mean, you come from a sporting background. You know what it's like. You get really good at a sport or an activity when you start hanging out with people that know more than you and that are better than you. Okay, I come from a BMX background. I got way better at riding when I started riding with people who were way better than me. The same thing with lifting. You want to get stronger, train with people who are stronger than you. If you're the strongest person in the gym, standing on top of the hill, there's not much room to go. You have to be very intrinsically motivated, and there's no one really to push you and stay on that level. So it's cool to have a gym that doesn't discriminate based on strength. You can be benching 30 kilos on one bench, and next to you is Coops benching 300, and he's the first to come fist bump you if you hit a PB. It's interesting how our sport revolves completely around numbers. We don't give a fuck about numbers.
Yeah, that's when I first started training with Thomas back then it was PTC Gold Coast.
Yes.
When was that? 2017, 2018?
No, earlier than that. Yeah. Well, yeah, 17, 18. Yeah, we moved here in 18 and became Zero. So it would have been earlier that year or the year before. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's one of the first things. So I was always scared to come train here because I thought I wasn't strong enough. And that's one of the first things I realized. I was like, no one gives a fuck if you're strong or not. That's literally the last thing on everybody's mind. If you're strong. Yeah, no one cares.
Doesn't mean anything because we're here to do the same thing. We're all just on a spectrum of where we are going to be. And we all know that if we are further along that spectrum than someone else, we've been there anyway. So there's no point in discriminating. There's no point in judging. We're all doing the same thing and heading in the same direction, which is stronger than we were before. The number on the bar doesn't mean jack shit.
Yeah, it's just an arbitrary measure of resistance.
Oh, yes, my man.
But in saying that, how many times have you heard someone come in here and say, yeah, I'm the strongest at my gym before they start training here at a commercial gym? Because we don't really, it's almost like commercial gyms are so distant to us, or like no one cares about that stuff here. No one's looking at that. People come here, train, have fun.
Yeah, it's always interesting. Thankfully, you know, we don't attract, you know, many people who are super arrogant or anything like that, because that vibe doesn't work here. If you're arrogant and you come train in a place like this, you exile yourself. It just doesn't work. You won't like training here if you're that kind of person. But I haven't had much of it over the years, but there's certainly been some people that have rocked up, and the first thing they want to talk about is how strong they are or what their numbers are, because they think it provides some validity into their worthiness to train here. And it's interesting because, again, we just don't care about that. And so it's not the best way to sell yourself. But once you're in strength sports and you realize that everyone's stronger than you anyway, you kind of lose that attitude pretty quickly. But yeah, it'd be cool to unpack some of those earlier stories in the podcast, you know, like how we first met, and you know, introduce CJ, introduce Bridget, eventually get Daniel, Rochelle, Lucy, Khan, everyone, you know, can come through and have a chat with us. We'll see if we can get the Melbourne Strength Culture boys on here when they come up. I want to have little segments where we interview some of the Zero lifters, so you can learn a little bit more about them. We've got plenty of, you know, amazing Zero lifters around the country and around the world. I want to showcase some of those people. I'm really excited for the direction that this will head, and your support and listening is very much appreciated. To help us get out there more, you know, feel free to like and share this, give it 5 stars on Spotify, screenshot it, put it on your Instagram. We love that stuff, so do as much as that as you can.
Because how many downloads are we up to at the moment?
That sounds like a James job.
Well, I'm just assuming we're at no, I'm not going to assume anything, but
we'll have a look after this. We'll have a look, and we can talk about it on the next one and help boost our ratings.
I just want that to double straight away.
Yep.
As long as you keep pushing it, get everyone to share it, give us a rating on Spotify, all that jazz.
Yeah,
we'll be good.
I think it'd be cool, you know, once, like you were saying before, once we have this room all set up and it's looking schmick and we got the whole team sitting down and having a laugh, that'll be lots of fun. But yeah, if you're listening to this, we are really keen to talk about what you want to hear about. You know, we don't just want to talk about ourselves. We want to provide you with some value. So tell us the kind of things you want to hear about, whether it's stuff about us, whether it's stuff about the gyms, whether it's stuff about training, nutrition, whatever. We can talk about it all. So we'll do like question answer boxes, and we'll do some suggestions for topics and stuff like that. And we'll do our best to fulfill everyone's requests within reason. And yeah, I mean, like any other questions or thoughts you have in terms of what we should address on this little intro episode before we start doing the big thing next week?
No, I'm just pumped to get the ball rolling, pumped to, you know, get better at this, talking behind the mic. Everyone knows I can talk shit, but, you know, I get a little bit shy in front of the camera, get a little bit shy in front of a mic. I don't know, it's really weird.
It is, it's real weird. As soon as you know you're being recorded, it's really hard to just have a natural conversation. Like you're like, oh, I'm being recorded, so I gotta, what can I say that makes me sound good or funny or right or whatever? And you go really not you, I mean everyone. Like we all go really like non-relaxed, and it's hard to get a conversation. So I don't know. What do you think, CJ? I mean, I know you're off camera and we can't hear you, but do you think it becomes a little bit more natural when there's more of us? Like if there's 4 of us, do you think it's easier to ignore the fact that we're being recorded? CJ says no if you didn't hear that.
I'm gonna compare it to learning a new skill. Like the only way you get better at a skill is by practicing a skill. When I first started running technique assessment sessions, I used to shit my pants every time Thomas would be on the floor. So I'd go turn the music right up so he couldn't hear me. Do you know what I mean? Like, but now because I've done so many of them, I don't know if I've probably done over 100. They come second nature to me now. I just do them. I don't even think about it. If you're standing right next to me, I'll still say something. I don't really care anymore. Well, I do care because I've gotten better at that skill, so I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah. It's the thing I say all the time. You know, once you when you start something new, it's unreasonable for you to not suck at it. You're going to suck at it, but once you suck at it for long enough, it's unreasonable for you to continue to suck at that thing. You just have to do it over and over and over and over again. But hopefully, we can fast track this. With the podcast. I'm super excited to see how Bridget is on the podcast.
Yeah, she's either
going to be a weapon or shit her pants. It'll be one of the extremes.
I kind of want her to shit her pants so she'll be fucking stressing about it. Oh, Thomas is going to be so mad at me. I can't do it. It's going to be so good.
I need to give her a written warning for working too hard.
What about you've never given me one? You've never given me one of those.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after.
Veteran status.
All right, people, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for listening, and really looking forward to what we can showcase and what we can do with this podcast in 2022. All right, bye.
It's only going to get better from here.